lesson is English placement test. Listening section instructions. In this section you will test your abilities to understand spoken English. Firstly, you'll hear a conversation, then you will have 10 seconds to select your answer. You may mark A, B, C, D, or E. If you don't know the answer, you may guess or select the option E. The audio files in this section will be played only once. Good luck. Let's get started.
Do you live with your parents?
Yes, I do.
Does your father help you?
Yes, he does. He sometimes writes songs for me.
Where do you practice your music?
I practice in my father's studio. When I shut the door, the neighbours can't hear anything.
Question 1. Where does he play his music?
This trip to Australia sounds fantastic. I'd love to go. You can go to a desert, a beach, and a rainforest. You can even ride a camel. I bet you haven't ridden a camel.
Actually, I have ridden a camel. I've ridden an elephant, too.
Question 2. According to the woman, what can you do in Australia?
The first Olympic Games took place in Greece, probably in the year 776 BC. That is, before Christ. The Olympics was a sporting event, but it was also a festival to honor Zeus, the father and king of the Greek gods.
Question 3. Why were the Olympic Games created?
Kristen Stewart is a famous actress. But when she was younger, things weren't always easy. She wasn't happy in high school because she couldn't talk to other kids her age. They were interested in different things, and so they weren't very friendly to her. They were often jealous because Kristen could act really well.
Question 4. How did Kristen Stewart's classmates feel about her?
Hello, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Simon.
Can you describe your typical weekend for our listeners?
Sure. My weekends are usually busy with football. I run a football club for children in my area. I coach the kids on Saturdays. It's really nice to watch them. They have a lot of fun and the exercise is good for them. Then, on Sunday mornings, I play with my local team. It's the football season, so I also watch football on TV or on the internet. I really love my weekends.
Thank you.
Questions 5 and 6. What does he do on Saturdays? How does he watch soccer on Sundays?
About 1.4 million fathers in the UK stay at home to look after their children. Tom, 38, is one of them. His wife Carol works for a construction company. After 2 years at home with their babies, she's happy to be back at work.
Questions 7 and 8. How many fathers in the UK look after their children at home? How long was Carol looking after her baby?
Wow, it's really crowded in here.
That's because it's people's favorite place. We all meet our friends here, and the teachers don't come because it's so noisy.
Is it cheap here?
Oh, yes, really cheap. A full meal costs about $2.50. And of course, you can get snacks for around $1. A soda is about $1.10.
Questions 9 and 10. How do they describe the place? What is more expensive, a soda or a snack?
I wish I could type better. I should take a typing course this summer. I really need it for my schoolwork. And people say that if you can type really well, it's something you'll find useful later in life.
Question 11. What does he wish he could do?
What should people do to make their visit to New York City safe and pleasant?
You should start planning before you get here. You ought to decide in advance which sites you most want to see.
Are there any good tours available?
Oh, yes, there are many. Some companies offer bus tours that stop at all the major tourist attractions. You can buy a pass so you can get on and off wherever you like. And you should visit our website to find out about the latest tours and special events.
I see.
Question 12. What is the main advantage of buying a pass?
It was a strange soccer match last night. The Bears won the game, but the Lions scored the winning goal for them. As Jake Walters was running toward the ball, he tripped and accidentally kicked it into the wrong goal. The score was Bears 1, Lions 0.
Question 13. What was the final score of the match?
Our next guest is technology expert Mike Hughes. Welcome.
Thank you.
Mike, what do you think about these future predictions for travel? Do you think they will happen, or are they just a dream? Let's start with trains. Do you think high-speed trains will replace air travel?
Yes, I do. When people want to travel from city to city, they will choose trains. In Europe and in places like China, high-speed trains are popular now, and in the future they will replace planes in other countries. Of course, they won't replace planes for trips across the sea. Not yet, anyway.
Right. And what do you think about vacations on the moon?
Well, I think that will be possible one day, but it won't be possible for you and me.
Question 14. According to the expert, will it be possible to travel overseas by high-speed trains?
Guess what? I've found a summer job.
That's great. Anything interesting?
Yes, working at an amusement park.
Wow, that sounds fantastic.
So, have you found anything?
Nothing yet, but I have a couple of leads. One is working as an intern for a record company, mostly answering phones. Or I can get a landscaping job again.
Being an intern sounds more interesting than landscaping. You'd have better hours, and it's probably not as much work.
Yeah, but a landscaper earns more than an intern. And you get a great tan.
Question 15 and 16, what job options does he have? According to the video, which of the following statements is true?
Hello?
Hi, Li Ling. It's Phil.
Hi, Phil. What's up?
Not much, but I was wondering if I could ask you for a favor.
Maybe. Try me.
Well, I have to go out of town for a few days next week.
Uh-huh.
Could I leave Polly with you while I'm gone?
Polly? Who's Polly?
You know, Polly, my bird.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Your bird. I don't know, Phil. I really don't like birds very much. They're messy and they make a lot of noise and...
No, not Polly. She's really a great bird. She's really clean and very quiet. She won't bother you, I promise.
Oh, all right. I'll do it.
Thanks. I really appreciate it. I'll bring her over on Tuesday night.
Okay, but you owe me one.
Question 17 and 18, why is he calling the woman? Why doesn't she like the birds?
In 2000, mineral miners from the town of Naica in northern Mexico made an astounding discovery beneath the ground. What they found took the idea of buried treasure to a whole new level. During this presentation, I plan to tell you more about Cueva de los Cristales, a truly incredible natural wonder. We are all familiar with underground caves from films and documentaries, even if we have never actually been in one ourselves. You may be aware that caves can be very dangerous places, but also fascinating places. Most people don't realize, however, just how stunning they can actually be. When those Mexican miners drained the water from a system of underground caverns at the beginning of the new millennium, their discovery proved that caves can be among the most awe-inspiring environments on the planet.
Definitely.
Hiding and growing in the darkness for 500,000 years, the enormous crystals of Cueva de los Cristales, or Giant Crystal Cave, now on the screen, are some of the biggest ever discovered on Earth. The largest is 40 feet long, 13 feet in diameter, and weighs 55 tons. Unfortunately, you won't be able to visit them anytime soon, as the caves are extremely hot. Temperatures of up to 136 degrees Fahrenheit mean that without proper protection, it is impossible to remain underground there for more than 10 minutes at a time. As you can see in this picture, scientists exploring the caves in 2006 had to wear breathing equipment and specially designed suits to keep them cool. It is believed that there are more undiscovered caverns at Naica, but exploring them would mean demolishing many of the crystals already uncovered.
Questions 19 and 20, why tourists are not allowed to get in the Giant Crystal Cave? According to the professor, how long have the crystals been naturally forming?
"13-year-old Nicholas Barclay disappeared on his way home from a basketball game in San Antonio, Texas. He was never found and was eventually assumed to be dead. 3.5 years later, Nicholas's family were contacted with the news that the missing boy had been found in Spain. Carrie, Nicholas's sister, traveled from Texas to Spain to take her long-lost brother home. It was an emotional reunion, and when she took the boy home to Texas, the family embraced him and told him how much they'd missed him. Nobody in the family questioned how Nicholas, who disappeared in Texas, ended up in Spain. And more surprisingly, nobody questioned the fact that this boy looked nothing like the missing boy. Nicholas was blonde-haired and blue-eyed. Conversely, the boy claiming to be him had dark features and spoke with a French accent. This is the amazing story of 23-year-old Frédéric Bourdin, a mixed-race Parisian who, in the late 90s, adopted the identity of Nicholas Barclay, a 16-year-old American. In 1997, Bourdin was living in a home for young people in Spain and was planning to run away. He needed a new identity, so he tried to pass himself off as the missing boy from Texas. Having seen a photo of Nicholas on a missing persons flyer, Bourdin bleached his dark hair. He read on the flyer that Nicholas had a cross tattooed between his right index finger and thumb. So he got a friend to give him a tattoo using a needle and ink. There was nothing he could do about his brown eyes, but he decided that he would say his eyes had changed color as a result of the traumas he had been through. When his disguise was ready, he presented himself at a local government office and said that he was Nicholas Barclay. When Nicholas's sister, Carrie, came to pick him up, Bourdin was sure that she would instantly see through his disguise and realize he wasn't her brother. But instead, Carrie rushed towards him and hugged him. In spite of Bourdin's brown eyes and French accent, she was in no doubt that this was her long-lost family member. She even swore under oath that he was her brother, and an American citizen, and he was granted an American passport. On the flight back to America, Carrie showed Bourdin photos of the family, and he listened carefully, learning everyone's name, so that he could recognize them later. He was worried that the family would reject him, but they took him in, and he quickly blended into family life. In fact, he managed to live as Nicholas for 3.5 months.
Questions 21, 22, 23 and 24. What was Nicholas like? What differences between Frederick and Nicholas were mentioned? Who traveled to Spain to finally meet him? What did Frederick do to resemble Nicholas Barclay?
Welcome to Animal World, the series in which we examine animals' behavior in their natural habitats. This week, we're turning our attention to some of the smartest animals on the planet. Here to help us is wildlife expert and animal rights campaigner, Dr. Roger Matthews. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Matthews.
Thank you for inviting me.
Dr. Matthews, if humans are intelligent, then chimpanzees must be intelligent too, because they share 98% of the same genes as humans. Is that right?
Yes, it is. And when you spend time with chimpanzees, you can see how close they are to humans in so many ways. They embrace and kiss and hug each other, and they laugh when they're playing. They experience adolescence and develop powerful mother and child bonds. They are also similar to humans in that they attack and kill rival gangs of chimpanzees when they want to extend their territory.
Oh, that really is quite shocking. I thought chimps were like humans, but nicer.
It's the same with dolphins. When you think of dolphins, words like friendly, gentle, playful, intelligent come to mind. Well, they are undoubtedly intelligent. Dolphins have large brains, and they have a number of things in common with humans and chimpanzees. They form stable communities and live in social groups, and they're totally dependent on their parents during childhood. But they're also good at defending themselves and can be quite competitive against one another. When they want to show who's boss or keep other males away from a female, they can be quite aggressive.
If we could come nearer to home, Dr. Matthews, what about the animals we see every day around us?
Right. Let's think about farm animals. Which do you think are the least intelligent?
Least intelligent. Cows, maybe? Or, no, sheep?
Right. Sheep have the reputation for being stupid because they follow the crowd and, frankly, they don't look very bright. However, scientific research shows that they've been seriously undervalued for their intelligence. Sheep are capable of learning. In intelligence tests, they perform at a level very similar to monkeys, and they can recognize people and respond when you call their name. So sheep are, in fact, quite intelligent animals.
Extraordinary.
It proves that it isn't the animals that look intelligent that are intelligent. Look at owls. We call them wise, but it's a common misconception. Owls are not very clever at all.
Yes, things are not always as they appear. Now, before we go any further, there's a question I'd like to ask. Which are smarter, dogs or cats?
Well, cats seem to have strong personalities, while dogs can be rather silly. But in fact, dogs have bigger brains. Their brains have been developing for centuries, while cats' brains have remained unchanged since they were first domesticated by the ancient Egyptians.
Why is that?
It's down to one simple fact. Dogs are more social than cats, and the more social the animal, the bigger the brain, and therefore the smarter the animal. If you think about it, dogs come when you call and spend a lot of time trying to please their owner. They're used as rescue dogs, police dogs, guide dogs. Cats, on the other hand, are loners.
I'm going to defend cats here. Dogs do tricks because they've been trained to come when you call their name, or to fetch the ball and things like that. I'm sure my cat could do that if she wanted to, but she's too independent to do tricks, and she doesn't need the approval of humans like dogs do.
Well, everybody thinks their own pet is the smartest.
Questions 25, 26, and 27. According to the audio, what features are always present in clever mammals? According to the expert, what misconception do people have with owls? What behaviors make chimps very close to human beings?
Good afternoon. Can I help you?
Oh, yes. I'm looking for a new laptop. I have a budget of $500.
Right. You won't be looking at a top-of-the-line model for that amount, but I'm happy to show you what you can get for $500. Let's start here. This one's a basic laptop with a capacity of 500 gigabytes.
That sounds good.
Well, compared with how computers used to be, it's not bad. If you just want to do word processing and social networking, it's a waste of money to buy a more powerful computer. But if you want to do gaming and store movies and music, you can get the same computer with a 1 terabyte hard drive for just $550. That's just $50 more.
I do want to store movies and music, But do I need 1 terabyte?
Well, you may be able to do without the extra storage now, but you need to think about the future. If you want to store music and movies, it's well worth spending a bit more. For just $50, you get a hard drive twice the size.
I'm not sure. I need to think it over.
Of course. If it helps you to make a decision, I'll throw in an external drive with the 1 terabyte model.
Questions 28, 29 and 30. What's her budget for buying a new laptop? What's the difference in price between the 2 devices offered by the man? According to the sales guy, what is a basic laptop good for? End of the listening test.